Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and welcome to lecture number 19 for basic engineering mechanics. In this lecture we will start with our discussion on chapter number 5, and which is about equilibrium of a rigid body. You might already recall that in chapter number 3 we looked at the equilibrium of a particle, and in chapter number 4 we discussed how we can find the resultant of a force, multiple forces and moments on a rigid body. So now we have the tools necessary to discuss equilibrium of a rigid body. And in today's lecture we are going to first discuss the conditions which are necessary for a body to be, for a rigid body to be in equilibrium, and then we are going to discuss a easier case of equilibrium in 2 dimensions, and we are going to discuss a lot about how we take care of support reactions on a body. Anytime there are any supports connected to any object, how do we replace those supports with appropriate forces or moments. So let's begin. So what are the conditions for a rigid body to be in equilibrium? So the first condition, and is again the same condition that we saw before, that the sum of all the forces have to be equal to 0, and the second condition is that sum of all the resultant force, sum of all the moments has to be equal to 0. So the resultant moment at any point O has to be equal to 0, and the resultant forces has to be equal to 0. So if the resultant moment is 0 at any particular point in the body, that is enough, that is a sufficient condition for equilibrium. And like we discussed before, this is a sufficient and a necessary condition, which means that if these 2 conditions are true, we would have equilibrium, and vice versa, if we have equilibrium, these 2 conditions must be true. So let's see how, and again just to clarify that we are assuming rigidity of the body, that the body does not deform in because of these forces. It does not bend, it does not compress or shear, those type of things we are ignoring for now. And in most practical engineering applications, we can pretty safely assume that the forces that we are dealing with are not of the order of magnitude which would create distortion or in a rigid object. So this is a pretty nice assumption which makes our calculation simpler, and we still get a pretty nice result. Okay, so so let's see the proof for the conditions of being necessary and sufficient conditions. So we are saying that the sum of all the forces and sum of all the moments should be 0 at point O. So let's see that if we have if this condition is satisfied, that sum of all the forces are equal to 0 and sum of all the resultant moments at a given point O are equal to 0, then if we were to move to another point A, because moments are already free vectors, so sum of all the moments at O, resultant moments at O would be the same as the resultant moments at A, and the resultant forces would also, if the resultant forces are 0 at point O, the resultant forces would still be 0 at point A. So if we were to get moments, so sum of all the moments at point O are equal to 0, then the sum of all the moments at point A, we would get all the moments, and then we will get this extra moment R cross FR because of moving from point O to point A, and this term is going to be 0 again because FR itself is equal to 0. So that means if these 2 conditions are true at any given point, they would be true at all other points as well, which means that we would have equilibrium. Okay, so as we discussed earlier, that in this lecture we are going to see a simpler system in which all the forces are coplanar and all the moments are perpendicular. So like in this simple case, we have an aeroplane which has a weight acting at its center of gravity, and then we have 2 back wheels and 1 front wheel, and the tension in the back wheels is 2 times T, and the reaction force in the front wheel is R. So in this system, all the forces are in this plane and all the moments would be perpendicular to this plane. Okay. So a very important concept in solving for equilibrium of rigid bodies is that of a support reaction. That any time we have an object which is supported by some support, then that support provides some force. So let's look at a few supports. Like we have a roller here, and a girder is free to move in this direction, but it cannot go down. So what do we mean by that? So this roller, this girder can move in this direction. So this red is allowed and this blue is allowed, but this motion in the red direction is not allowed. So this is allowed, this is not allowed. So the way this roller provides this support is by providing an upward force at this point. Okay. So the basic concept, the general rule of a support is that any time we have any support which stops translation, then there would be a force applied opposite in the direction that has been stopped. Like in this first case, this girder has been stopped from going down. That means this girder's translation in the vertical axis has been stopped, which means that this support would provide an upward force on this girder. Similarly, we have this pin here. Again, this pin is stopping this girder from moving in X and Y both directions. So because of this pin, this girder cannot move in the horizontal direction and it also cannot move in the vertical direction. That means that this support would provide two forces on this girder, one force in the horizontal axis and one force in the vertical axis to stop the motion. Okay. And the other general rule is that any time a support stops rotation, then that support has to provide a couple moment in the opposite direction. So let's see, we have a girder here which is fixed to some fall, maybe by welding or something, by some bolts. And so now this girder cannot translate, it cannot move in the vertical or horizontal direction, but it cannot even rotate. So even this rotation in this direction or this direction has been hindered because of this support, which means that this support has to provide a couple moment also. So the support reaction provided by this fixed support would be two forces and one couple moment. So that's the basic idea of support reactions. So this roller would provide a support which is a vertically upward force. This pin would provide two forces, one in the X direction, the other one in the Y direction, and this fixed support would provide three support reactions, two forces and one couple moment and these two forces would stop the rotation, the translation, and this couple moment would stop the rotation of this girder. Okay, so let's see a few simple cases of support reactions. So the most simplest support is that of a cable, that we have this rod connected with a cable, and this cable would stop this rod from going in the opposite direction. So that means this direction is restricted. So because of the tension in the cable. So that means the force provided, the support provided by this cable would be along the cable itself, and there would be only one unknown. The only unknown here is the force, and the angle would always be the same. Okay. The second is that of a weightless link, and again this link is only stopping this bar from going inside the link. So this would again provide a simple force which would be in the direction of the link. Okay. The next is the example of a roller, and so a roller at some, so now this bar can roll along this axis which are tilted, which means that the motion in this direction is restricted. However, the motion in this direction is allowed. So the green one is allowed, but the red is not allowed, which means that we would need a force which is perpendicular to this surface. So the support reaction would be a force something like this. Okay. So these were the simpler cases, and the next would be that of a rocker, and there isn't much difference between a roller and a rocker. A rocker, at least for our studies, a roller allows translation much easier than a rocker, but essentially they are exactly the same except for the frictional force provided. And because we are not looking at the frictional force right now, so the support reaction of a rocker would be more or less the same as that of a roller. And a smooth contact is exactly the same because this rod has been stopped from going inside the surface. That means the force provided by this surface is going to be perpendicular to the surface. And the next is the roller pin. Again, what this roller pin does is that it allows motion along this green axis. Let me just draw it. So it allows motion in the green axis, but it stops motion in the red axis. So this is not allowed, but this is allowed, which means that the force would be perpendicular to this green axis again. But force can be in either direction. It could be upward or it could be downward, because this support is stopping the motion in both the directions. Okay. So here we have a member pin connected to a collar a smooth rod. This is exactly the same. Because of this smooth rod, it's allowed to go up and down, but it cannot move in the other direction, which means the support reaction would be a single force. And a spoon pin is what we saw in the previous in the example, that this pin is stopping motion both in the x direction and the y direction. So that means this the support reaction would be two forces, one in the x axis and one in the y axis. Okay, so this member fixed connected to a collar smooth, and previously the rotation was allowed in this case, but in case number 7, but in case number 9 only the translation is allowed in one of the axes. Even the rotation is not allowed, which means that to compensate for the rotation we need a couple moment as a support. So for this case we would have a force and a couple moment as supports. And the fixed support, as we saw earlier, would mean that we need two forces and one couple moment. Again, we can either say that these are two forces, or we can say that we have a force at some angle phi. So again, this translates to 3 unknowns, and this again translates to 3 unknowns, because this angle is also an unknown. So that is it for today's lecture, and in the next lecture we would see more examples of these support reactions, and we'll solve some problems for 2-dimension cases. So I'll see you in the next lecture. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.